Hey everybody, just a short video for you today. I want to kind of bring you in on a project that I'm working on, but this isn't a how-to. I just want you to know what I'm working on. I had the opportunity to attend a grafting class at my local extension office, and I went to it. It was a heck of a deal. It was certainly an offer you couldn't say no to, and I walked away with 4 trees that I've grafted myself, 2 apples and 2 pears. Now in the class we learned about different types of grafting, from whip and tongue, cleft, bark, bud, and omega was the other one. And we may have learned others. I'm just trying to go off memory and I'm liable to miss something. But after learning it academically, we turned around and actually had the opportunity to do it. And probably the hardest thing was they had scions there from probably a dozen different apple trees and maybe a half a dozen different pear trees, and I could do 2 of each, so it was difficult to choose. The one thing I did choose was the whip and tongue graft. I decided I wanted to master that because it seemed like something that if all you had was a pocket knife, you could get it done and get it done right if you had the experience to do so. So that's what I decided to work on. So what did I end up selecting? Well, of the varieties that were available, and I don't have a list of which ones were there, what I chose was a Gala Apple, grows really well here in the deep south in our humid environment. A Florina Apple, same thing, Florida Pear, and a Kieffer Pear. So if you notice, one thing about these that I had never really considered before, you can see where the graft actually is. That's wrapped up using this grafting tape. I forget the exact name for it. I'll look it up and I'll put it down in the show notes below. But there's also some of that grafting tape on the top. And we were told to do that to try to help make sure that the stem or the scion doesn't dry out through that cut at the top. We wanted to cut off any of the terminal buds because we wanted to encourage growth out of the buds and not just growth out of the tip. That's just putting it real simply. So wish me some luck. This was just done a week ago, so they said in about 2 months they're going to call us up and ask whether or not our grafts took. So time will tell. Now, I'm excited about this because, let's face it, trees are expensive. And when you have someplace like mine where I've got 7 acres that I want to put into swales and food forest or forest gardening kind of systems, it gets awfully expensive thinking about all of the different trees that you need. But if you can instead plan and decide that the first couple years you're going to do scions and then you're going to graft, you can save a lot of money doing that. Now, if you're somebody who's fortunate enough to be able to just buy a couple hundred trees and get the bulk discount, then good for you, but I'm not one of them. I have to do things paycheck at a time and try to get it all put together. So I'm excited about the grapes that I'm growing from cuttings that I took from them over the winter, and now I'm going to be trying to grow like this as well. If I can learn that I know how to do this competently enough with some good success, now I've got, let's see, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different varieties of apples on the property. These are the first 2 pears that we've had on the property, but I can get some other varieties done up this way and just keep growing them by the grafting. So I'm pretty excited about the possibility of doing that. Now, before I let you go today, I want to remind you that if you're interested and you're in the Indiana area, I will be at the RK Prepper Show teaching 4 different classes, April 18th and 19th, 2015, in case you see this a long time in the future. I'll be teaching 4 different classes. One will be called Homesteading Basics. Another is Raising Animals for Food. Another is the Perennial Planting Prepper. And finally, the big capstone for the entire event is going to be my hour-and-a-half presentation on practical permaculture. We're going to talk about permaculture 101 level things, and more importantly, how you can implement them wisely on your property. So if you're in the Indianapolis or Indiana area in general, come out one of those 2 days, head to rkpreppershows.com, and you can find out all the information, who else is going to be speaking, the entire conference schedule, and all the other details about tickets and whatnot there. So head over to rkpreppershows.com. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you come back and I'll give you an update on these grafts. keep me to my word. If you don't see something in the next 2 months, say, Jared, what's going on with the grafts? And I'll tell you whether I completely screwed it up or whether I've got 4 flourishing trees or what the results are. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.